my name is Showstar the DJ. For a long time, Zambian TV needed a youthful entertainment show, extreme and unscripted, but yet insightful, educative, and informative. So I created High Five. Join me every Wednesday on QTV at 9 p.m. as I sit down with Zambia's great talents. We discuss anything and everything.
All right, thank you very much for sticking around right here on the Q Breakfast TV edition. You can also catch the radio edition on QFM 89.1 with Josh and Showstar. Joining our show today, we have Ndanji Simwanza, who is a visionary student, and he's a lot of things, a youth pioneer for development as well. But today we're not talking about that. We'll be talking about money management. So a few weeks ago, we were celebrating financial literacy. If you are liberated in the financial world, he's the right man to talk to. Well, for me, financial literacy, it was more like an experience that I learned a lot of things. I learned about wealth. I learned on how to spend money. So now let's talk about money management in general. How can one be literate enough to know when to spend, when, because like sometimes you get a lot of pressure in terms of spending because of your friends, your circle, and then at the end of the day, you end up spending what you're not supposed to spend. So, how are you supposed to reach a level whereby you know when to reach a limit in terms of spending money?
Great. First of all, thank you very much for having me on the show. It's good to be here.
Yeah.
It's good that you did take away some key concept from the financial
Yeah.
literacy week. But for those other individuals that never had the privilege to learn from what was happening, in particular in that week, this is an opportunity for me maybe to shed more light a bit on financial literacy and why it is important,
Yeah.
especially now. So financial literacy, not only does it give you an acute understanding of how you use your money and how you think about the little that you have, because of course, as we talk about financial literacy, we need to understand how many do the majority of Zambian people live on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So we're talking about maybe a $2 basis in terms of, yeah. So when you look at all that aspect, it gives you an insight to say, how can you now begin using what you have to moment you to a certain level that will generate revenue for you in order to sustain your livelihood. So basically, financial literacy give you the skills necessary for you to do proper investment and also engage in other avenues and opportunities that will allow you to grow your wealth.
Yeah.
So in terms of money management, which is a very important step, but there's no right answer with this. I think that's the reason why, as if you're a young person, it's important that you have mentors who are in the financial sector to take you through how you can use your money and invest. But some of us who have had mentors before, we can draw some aspect from that. It is an amazing experience. It gives you an overview to say that when you are planning a vision board, you have a vision board and you say, I want to do this. What money will I need to do this?
Yeah.
It might be a long-term or short-term plan, but you have to use what you have because you can't skip it to a long-term plan that you have, which requires a lot of money when you have little money. So you need to drive yourself to that level, but it will take determination, and you have to principle yourself in terms of how you manage your money.
That's fantastic. Now, at what age is someone supposed to start handling money?
Okay.
Is it the young age, or maybe when you're just an infant, you have to learn about money and its value?
That's a very good question, and I was having a one-on-one focus group discussion with young people on what age do you think is right age for a person to start knowing about money, especially in Zambia. Can we take it down and level it to Zambian setup? For me, literally, I never had a privilege to learn early on how to handle money until when I realized that I needed mentors to take me and to know how to manage money. There could be other people in a similar situation that like the one I had, but for me, it's 11 and above, and I draw it from the if you look at the 4 cognitive stages of child development. For 11 years and above, this is the critical age because people now begin to open up and scan the environment around. And I feel like if you have a child, I think it's now that you begin to teach them on how to handle and manage money. Look at, for example, and I like to give an example of what is happening in our country, economic-wise. You know, there's always the issue of how our public finances are being managed.
Mm.
You know, if you are to ask me, even those that were kids at some point,
Yes.
did they learn how to manage their money at the right time? And could that be a ripple effect why they're not managing money well?
Mhm.
It could be.
Mhm.
So let's begin drawing focus to enable young people, the millennials, us the millennials, to know how to manage money for proper investment and the future that we want to see for Zambia.
Okay, and they say you're your own manager at the end of the day. You're the one who's going to be managing the money that you spend. So, how do you generate revenue now when you reach a certain point in life? How do you know the right way to go?
Um, yes, I'm going to be a bit skeptical about answering your question because experience differ.
Yeah.
I think when it comes to making money, it's something that a lot of people are finding difficult. And one funny part is that I've gotten to realize the complaint from young people. I don't have enough to start business.
Yeah.
But here you are. Here you have a young person. They do have a bit of money to buy alcohol, for example. It's a real fact that some young people have money to buy alcohol on the weekend.
Yes.
But when they say, I don't have money to start a business, but on the weekend they're out buying liquor and having fun. So it comes back to principle. Are they determined enough and principled enough to make sure that they make informed decision when it comes to their revenue? And as little as you might have, it starts from there, the principle aspect. So I think for me personally, how it's probably it's how I started saving.
Yeah.
I think for me it was about saving. I started saving little, and that's why I'm challenging now the authorities to say that you need to create revenues to enable people, like platforms to enable people create wealth. Like for example, I've been working on airtime banking system where you convert talk time back into money.
Okay.
The reason why I came up with that business model is because I knew that people usually have airtime, but we want to make banking easier and more reliable, and want to put people to take charge of how they move their money and how they manage their money.
Yeah.
So I said people can actually save as little as a 2 kwacha. Now imagine using just your phone and making all those transactions on your mobile phone with airtime, playing with airtime, creating wealth. Imagine what you can do with that money. Let's say in a year, if you're saving 2 kwacha in a week or something. So those are some of the platforms that we would want to challenge the authority. Say, can you create enabling platform, user-friendly platform for young people to create wealth for themselves?
Okay. Now, in terms of expenditure, sometimes we do not know the limits. We don't know when to stop. We don't know how we're supposed to spend our money. Maybe you might get paid just 7 days, but then you have other things that you have to do. Now, how do you manage yourself in a sense of knowing when to spend and when not to spend?
Yes. Now, psychology, I've done a very remarkable view on this aspect in terms of spending. Now, Africa, if you scan, just go to a supermarket, especially when you're not paid. Observe, when you're not paid, you have these beautiful ideas of what you want to do with your money.
Yeah.
Take your money, put it in your wallet or your pocket. It becomes a different scenario. And make it to be on a worse place or scenario. Go to a shopping mall or whatever. Look at what you'll be buying. It was not even planned for where you were coming from. So impulse spending has become a syndrome in our community. And for me, for example, I could tell you that I've been a subject at some point where I go in a store. I went specifically to buy juice or fruit juice.
Yeah.
I end up buying other stuff that I did not plan for. And many are subjected to that kind of scenario. So I think as I said, I think the best time is to have people to mentor you. People who have gone through this process and they know better and they're making informed decisions and they're growing.
Yeah.
You see, that's where we can draw our learning from.
I read somewhere that Japan, the way they spend their money, they mostly write down their monthly, weekly expenditure, them to keep track on how much they are making at the end of the month so that they know when to reach a limit and when not to reach a limit. But how do you make a plan for yourself? Sometimes people might think it's cliche to start writing down on how much you're supposed to spend and how much you're not supposed to spend. So how are we supposed to make a plan for us not to overspend at the end of the day?
It's just like the way we do our national budget.
Yeah.
There's a track record that is there. When the Ministry of Health receive a chunk of money specific for that sector, they track how they spend and they don't go beyond. I think there are countries where the reason why countries borrow is because they are planning beyond what they have. And it's same to our household level. People want to plan beyond their income. You see what I mean? Which is a problem. So what you need to understand is that at least from 50% of your income, can you please plan at least 25% of that 50? Have that 25% not going beyond that 25. Have your planning in that 15% level, so that at least if something comes about, at least you have that 25% to support and to cushion the problem that will come in. Because that's the reason why people make suicide because of money, of course.
Yeah.
So all these things you need to sit down. Yeah, if you are married, sit down with your spouse, plan, and maybe try exercise planning when you have the money already on the table.
Yeah.
Maybe start dishing out money from one corner to the other corner. Just say, okay, this 200 is going there, this 200 is going there. Because like I said, it's different when you don't have money planning. Things are clear.
Yeah.
But when you have money, it's different.
Okay.
So let's begin from that point.
Okay. So now, what is there a difference between wealth and being rich in terms of money?
Well, wealth and being rich, I will look at it from a sustainable point of view.
Yeah.
Wealth, for me, it's not about worth, it's about generational wealth. And when I say generational wealth, it is something that is sustainable. So we're talking about something which will last about 25, 30, 50 years if it is well managed. Rich, anybody can be rich. Today I can win lottery and I can be rich. And I will use that money, I won't even maybe care. Tomorrow I might be broke. So my focus, I think the difference is that wealth is somehow connected to sustainability.
Yeah.
Rich is something that is short term. It can be, you can lose track and lose the money. So I think as much as Zambia, and especially young people, I think it's a challenge to us young people for this country, for the sake of our country.
Yes.
We need to begin to align to create generational wealth for ourselves. It's gonna be hard. It is hard. But we need to start, and patience is key. I think we are very in a rush to create wealth as young people, but it doesn't work that way. Be able to learn and follow the steps. Just make yourself, don't even, if you look at yourself, I'm a smart person, I know this is not a good investment. No. Even if you know it's not good investment, try to listen and stay back a bit and learn. Yeah.
Now, there's also the saying, there's something like not enough capital to start a business. Is that even true?
I would say yes and no.
Okay.
And I'm going to tackle two connotations.
Okay.
Yes, depending on the nature of the business that you want to start.
Yeah.
Somebody will say, I want to go into accessories and I have 100 kwacha. It's possible for someone to start with 100 kwacha with accessory. You can buy a battery and to my chargers and start selling and make profit out of that. Others will say, no, it's not enough because they want to start and to be seen in society to say that, oh, he has opened a shop and is doing well. You see what I mean? But doesn't it? You see our young people, our fellow young people in the street selling chargers and glasses and whatnot.
Yeah.
If you ask them how much did you start as a capital, they'll tell you they started a very minimal. And then you wonder yourself, what's wrong? So again, it's wanting. What job do you want in your mind? So you're thinking, I want to start this big so that I can look cool. You're not looking cool to society.
Yeah.
It's about something that's going to make you relevant to society and build the country and support your family in some way.
Now, amidst the COVID-19, we have seen a lot of youths. They just seated, they're not doing anything at the moment. But then there are also other youths that have money and they don't know where to take it. What advice can you give them? Like, what can they venture in for them to be progressive at the end of the day?
I think it's not good to stay home. I know COVID-19 has brought a lot of challenges, especially in the business environment. And I was just following this entrepreneur was doing a walk from Congo to Zambia, probably raising awareness. I mean, from the border for Malawi, Zimbabwe, somewhere there, was raising awareness in terms of promoting entrepreneurship in the country. I feel like young people, this is not the time for us to be seated. You know, as much as we don't have anything to do, let's get up and do something. Yes, COVID-19, we can do our things and still follow the health guidelines and protect ourselves and our loved ones. I was telling one of my colleagues to say that, dude, like my friend, COVID-19 is not going anywhere anytime soon.
Yes.
But we have other issues, pertinent issues that need to be addressed. Are we just going to leave these issues? Because there will be also forming a kind of problem that when COVID is now addressed, we'll have to go back to what we did not do and start doing it. So can we find a loophole to manage COVID-19 and other pertinent issues? So as young people, get up, do something. And for those who have money, please, there's so many ways of investing. Now there's forex trading. I think young people, I've seen a lot of young people go forex trading. They are trading now online. And if you don't want to start a business, you can buy stocks. The Lusaka Stock Exchange, you can do that. It's easy. Or you can start giving out loans to your fellow young people if you have money. Let them start up businesses and raise a venture or start up a venture capital so that you can empower your fellow young people.
Sure.
If you don't know where to take the money.
Okay. Now, have you seen a lot of young people into entrepreneurship now, rather than back then? Is there a difference?
It's affirmative.
Okay.
It's positive. I think if you go in town center, for example, most of stores are being managed by young people. If you go in a city market, you find that young people are busy selling products.
Yes.
If you are traveling to Nakonde, coming here, you see young people buying products, bringing them to the city. That's a positive move. But we still need an environment that is conducive for young people to keep doing a business, because it's a two-way win.
Yeah.
Government gets revenue from them, more money for the country.
Yeah.
Also, it's not like them now wanting a community where they'll be begging, because if you have a society where everybody's begging to the government, it becomes a problem, because when government will be like, no, the country is in a mess economically, because they just want to be dishing out money. But I say people are ready to work.
Yes.
They are ready to invest and start business, but can we support them?
Yeah.
And that's just not a particular group of people because they support us for our interest. No. Let's look at it from a bigger picture. Some of them, they have children.
Yeah.
What happens if they won't be there? What country or revenue would those children that they're having benefit from, especially these people in authority, if they don't support the people who can make sure that the economy remain intact in the future?
Now, what do you think is hindering most of these youths not to venture into entrepreneurship? Maybe they might think it doesn't work as much as it's supposed to. So what do you think hinders them?
I will give you my side of experience, and I will say this one would be a great venue if we had views from other people, because probably they'll say something different that I might say, but I will say from my experience.
Yeah.
I think if you look at policies, I think young people have not really read. They might say government is empowering, but they don't read and understand the policies that are there in regards to empowerment. So they keep blaming the government, say that we're not getting empowered. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So we need to begin reading. If for example, the economic recovery program that His Excellency launched some few months back, if you ask how many young people have read that economic recovery program, you find that few people have. But why? Because you are the people who want to have protection from your environment, but you're not reading what you. So you find like even when they're asking for empowerment, it seems like it's a begging or asking thing. So they don't focus or push. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But views can differ, I think, for different entrepreneurship. But I wouldn't want to sideline. Some people might have a different view on this one. But I feel like the problem is we are not engaging. And I've never heard SMEs bring about leaders, like for example, youth and sports, bring them to a forum to say that I run, let's say there's a forum, and then John, and name John, stands up to say that I run a business. This is the challenges I'm facing, Minister. And I've tried to apply for a grant. I've never been given anything. Why is it so difficult? I've never seen a forum where young SMEs in town go and create that forum and interact with their leaders, because that now will give them a base of what really is happening. Yeah.
Okay. So what are your last words? What can you tell the young people about managing their money?
First of all, as we conclude, I think we have the independence. We got the independence in 1964, but now you know what we're fighting for? Economic independence, social independence. Can we begin as young people aligning ourselves through the values and principles that we hold dearly as a country to build a better Zambia, especially in the business world? And I would say money management, moving forward, it's about money and me and money and you. So everything you do now revolves around money. So let's take it serious. Let's invest, let's save, and let's support one another. Especially key aspect, let's support one another. If your friend is doing well in a business and you have money, please go there and boost it. Do a partnership and boost it. You are winning still. So don't take it personally, say that I'm just the one who wants to be doing well than the other. We are one Zambia, one nation.
Indeed. Ndanji, thank you very much for coming to the show.
Good to be here.
Indeed. Okay, so you can follow the conversation on QTV Zambia, Facebook and Instagram. We have more jam-packed things for you. Make sure that you stick around and don't move an inch.
Catch up with the latest and most trending Zambian music videos.
Feelings, wanna love with you, die with you, nah, nah.
We cross borders, so not forgetting our international pop.
Oh, you see, you better watch out. I done the reason you.
Shake bum bum for no darling for Superwoman lama.
We no slow down the tempo. Loving how you feeling on my hips, so XO, you know your body make me feel like so. We no slow down the tempo.
Your boy born there. Yeah. Confuse me. Tell me why you they confuse me, oh baby. Your body too attractive, and the way I fall for you, it be like magic. Oh no, and boy you tell me I go there, and I no go fit to come.
Catch me on Zride, your coolest girl on TV, every Saturday at 17 hours. QTV, experience home.
Why be saying that you in my mind? Say you no be option, no be lie. Oh yeah, make you run away, make you fly away.
Catch up with the latest and most trending Zambian music videos.